So, hello everyone. I am your reporter for this lesson, which is the historical background of sculpture. In this area, we will going to know the history of sculpture in different periods. It seems that forming figurative shapes out of natural materials has always been with us. As humans developed, a bigger, more sophisticated brain allowed for more processing power and higher functions such as language and creative expression. Did you know that in prehistoric times, statues were made of ivory or soft stone, and some pre-human and animal figures have been found in Central Europe. And prehistoric art covers a period from the Stone Age through around 10,000 BC. Cave painting, rock engraving, and small sculpture carvings are the most common finds. Um, prehistoric, prehistoric artifacts have been found in all of the early cradles in civilization. So this is the example of the ivory or the soft stone in prehistoric times, as you can see in the slide. This is the cave of Altamira and the Paleolithic cave art of northern Spain. Next is, later on, the following materials were used for sculpture, which is the basalt, diorite, sandstone, and alabaster, copper, gold, silver shells, and other precious stones for high quality. The material used in Paleolithic sculpture are quite diverse, varying according to region and locality. Most commonly, prehistoric sculptors use mammoth bone and ivory in their carving. Note that ivory encompasses any animal tooth or tusk, wow, as well as the more perishable wood. In addition to the bone and wood, artists also sculpted in stone, especially softer varieties like limestone, statite, and sandstone, as well as the harder varieties like quartzite and serpentine. Clay and terracotta were also widely used in Stone Age figurines. During the later Mesolithic and Neolithic periods, as tools became stronger, Stone Age sculptors began carving with marble, limestone, porphyry, and granite. More rarely, they used precious materials such as silver, gold, and jade, and began casting with bronze, pewter, and zinc. So daghan na jud ay kaayo no murag naga-upgrade ang mga materials na ginagamit nila sa paghimo sa ilang mga sculpture o pag-carve sa ilang mga kuan, mga products. In Sumerian and Akkadian periods, large staring eyes and long beards of men. For example, a black bearded golden bull's head. So as you can see in the slide, this is what is being referred. Bronze head of a king, perhaps Sargons of Akkad from Nineveh, now in Iraq. So, as you can see, this is the example. As you can see, this is the example in the Sumerian and Akkadian periods. Two notable heads of Akkadian statues who have survived. One in bronze and the other of stone. The bronze head of a king wearing the big helmet of the old Sumerian rulers is probably Sargon himself. So Sargon himself daw, itong big helmet, ano na siya, is probably Sargon himself. Though lacking its inlaid eyes and slightly damaged elsewhere, this head is likely considered one of the great masterpieces of ancient art. Wow, bisan pag ingana na siya sa ano, mao na siya murag, mao jud daw na ang one of the masterpiece sa ancient art. The Akkadian head in stone from Bismaya, Iraq, um, um, suggested that portraiture in the materials other than bronze had also progressed. So, high quality na siya. Kay lahi na nga mga lahi ni kanang maong ning upgrade pud ang materials nga gigamit sa paghimo sa katong mga kuan. So Babylonian and Assyria, it represents a man in a conventional and typical manner. It also represents animal combats and hunting scenes. So mao ni siya ang pinaka boom sa ilahang periods ingani nga mga theme sa pag-sculpt. Assyrian sculpture is a sculpture of the ancient Assyrian state, especially the New Assyrian Empire of 911 to 612 BC, which was centered around the city of Assur in Mesopotamia, which at its height ruled over all of Mesopotamia, the Levant and Egypt as well as a portion of Anatolia. So, ing-ani kaning mga ing-ani daw siya nga sculpture kay sa katong mga gi-mention ako nga mga places murag ang ilahang mga gipang sculpt kay murag ing-ani jud ang halos ang mga theme. It forms a piece of art in Mesopotamia, differing in particular because of its much bigger use of stone and gypsum alabaster for larger sculpture. So, wala na ko na research kung unsa ning gypsum alabaster nga kuan nga material, but siguro hindi jud na siya nga kayo ng quality to preserve that kind of sculpture. In Egyptian, an example of this is the palette of King Narmer. A palette is used for mixing eye makeup. Also, with sphinxes were statues of deities with a lion body and an animal's head or human-made to look like Pharaoh. Egyptian sculpture or linked sculpture as an artistic requirement to everything that they build and believe the statues are their gods would come to life. Grabe kayo ang belief sa Egyptian sa mga sculptures na ilang ginapanghimo. The Egyptians used sculpture in a number of ways. They created statues of their gods, kings, and queens, but they also created and also they created what is called reliefs. Pagan civilization, um, they are classified into three period, which is the Clydic period, which they create pottery and silver jewelry. So as you can see, sa ubos mo na siyang example sa pottery and silver jewelry. Minoan periods, statues and carved semi-precious stone steels are designed. Mao na siya ang example sa slide sa ikaduha, mao na siya ang statues and carved semi-precious stone steels. And architecture with relief carvings are the Mycenaean period's product. So mao na siya. Sa ikatulong kolong. Classical Roman sculpture. Ancient Roman sculpture, unlike the more international Greek sculpture, is not noted for its beauty or decorative qualities. This is this is because Roman art was not made to be beautiful. It was made to impress. Wow. Dili wala lang sila nagahimo tukuan nga wala nila ginahimo for beautification. It was to impress siguro para dagan jud ang ma-catch dagan ang ma-catch sa og attention ana nga sculpture. It was designed to awe and impress other nations with its gravitas and sense of power. Uh, Meaning itself. The Greek focused on idealism, making sculptures that were not only lifelike but also visually perfect with young, calm places and well-defined muscles. Ang ilang key categories sa ilahang pag-sculpt is the relief shallow three-dimensional carvings and flat surfaces, freestanding statues, and portrait bust of famous Romans. Wow, kuyawan nila mga belief no kay like wala nila gihimo for beautification but to impress the other nation nga siguro para po makatch nya mag-eager sila nga wow kailangan pili mo mag-ingana gud nga istorya. Renaissance or rebirth to serve a revived and militant Roman Catholicism. So, what is the Renaissance and rebirth? Renaissance is a French word meaning rebirth. It refers to a period in European civilization that was marked by a revival of classical learning and wisdom. And how the Renaissance was a rebirth of art. The art of the Italian Renaissance revived ideas from ancient Greek and Roman art, particularly the emphasis on naturalism and the human anatomy. Various ancient sources that were rediscovered during the Renaissance included Greek and Roman sculpture, painting, decorative arts, and architecture. So this is the example of the undoubtedly Michelangelo's statue of David, and the most famous sculpture in the existence. So as you can see in the picture, that is the Michelangelo statue. Carved out of marble from the quarry at Carrara, it is one of the truly iconic Renaissance masterpiece. Wow, grabe siya. Nindot po siya. Quality po. The original statue is now in the Accademia Gallery, Florence, Italy. Romanesque, virility, and a dignified naturalness. So, Romanesque, Romanesque art is a art of Europe from approximately 1000 CE to the rise of the Gothic style in the 13th century or later, depending on the region. Most Romanesque sculpture is pictorial and biblical in subject. A great variety of themes are found on building capitals, including scenes of creation and the fall of man, the life of Christ, and the Old Testament. So as you can see in the picture, mo siya example. More siya as the life of Christ or the belong siya sa Old Testament creation of God's ano siya. Gothic is a term of medieval art with a strange history and even stranger connotations. Gothic art was a style that developed concurrently with Gothic architecture during the mid-12th century. Primary media in the Gothic period including sculpture, painting, stained glass fresco, and illuminated manuscripts. The earliest Gothic art existed as the monumental sculpture on the walls of cathedrals and abbeys. Elaborate sculpture was used extensively to decorate the facades of this building. So, makita nimo siya. This person are portrayed as youthful appearance even though they are aged. Figures are slender and well-formed, long and smoothly flowing draperies, and thoughtful, spiritual, and modest expression. So, mao na siyang example. So, this is the English sculpture and the United States in 19th century. Mura ga-higher and more nag-upgrade jud ang ilahang mga materials nga gigamit as the time goes by. Siya nga, maka-amaze lang no nga tanawon na to ang mga history sa ilahang mga sa history ani nga mga sculpture kung unsa jud mas nindot jud kung mag-dig deeper ta pero magtas man jud siya no nga magdisod jud kay history man jud siya kailangan jud siya more on researches. So, mo lang to siya. And ang thesis is here. 5 items. Classification. Identification, I mean. So, that's all for my report. And thank you for listening. Thank you. Bye.